All right, let's take a look at this image and continue to assess some of the damage, how we can fix it. The image is a little dark on this side, which could be from the sun or some damage that occurred. What I'm going to do is go to the top of my layer panel and make a new layer. And whatever layer is selected, when you go to make a new layer, either through this new layer icon at the bottom of the layer panel or up at the top, layer, new layer, I'm going to call this dodging. That is not how you spell it. There we go. It will be made on top of whatever layer you had selected. In this case, I want it at the very top. So if it's not up there at the very top, drag it up there. And what we're going to do is grab the brush, get a really big, soft brush, so you can drag the size up here. Make sure that the hardness is at 0. Make sure that your foreground color is white. I'm going to make the brush even bigger. And I'm going to paint white on that side. Now, it's definitely lighter, yeah? I don't think anybody will know. But if people did notice, we have options. Change the layer blending mode to soft light. What the layer blending modes do, they change the way that one layer it looks when it is affected to the layers below. So right now on normal, you can see all of this 100%. But if you go to multiply, it looks different, and it looks different in overlay. So we'll get into layer blending modes later, but what I want you to know is that the top layer and the layer that is below it, it changes the way that it is affected, right? And it changes the way it's looked, basically. So if I change it to soft light, and I take the opacity of the layer down, and I go back in, with the Wacom, I have kind of a heavy hand. I need to get rid of a little bit of line here in the center. I'm going to change the opacity of my brush and go right down the center. And there you go. And I did it by just using white paint. On soft light, opacity of 32. Again, you can change the opacity here. And then I change the opacity of the brush. So the brush has the option to change the opacity in this option bar. Remember, the option bar changes for each tool. I like to remember to put it back because sometimes I won't, and then I get confused when I keep trying to proceed. Here, this, not the fill, but the opacity of the actual layer affects the transparency. So you can see here, it's 100%, nothing getting through. If you take it down a little, it still is more transparent, but it's not blending with the pixels below. If I change it to soft light, it works pretty good. So this is before and after. It's a beautiful layer. We could keep making stamp visibles in this case and apply it directly to that layer, but it's kind of inefficient, right, to keep bringing all of added additional 12 megapixels to the file. It's just inefficient. Making a new blank layer and doing it on there, working with the layer blending mode, the brush, and the opacity of the brush and the layer work pretty awesome. Cool? All right.